What's up guys, it's Adam here, aka Anti-Cena Guy, coming at you with another review. And this review is requested by Chuck Palumbo 1692, and he wanted me to request a Ruthless Aggression era pay-per-view, and I'm so thankful he sent this in, because this is one of my all-time favourite Survivor Series, and it's this one right here. Boom. WWE Survivor Series 2003. What a great Survivor Series. I'm sorry guys, this era, or whatever the era you want to fucking call it, the modern era, the best era, whatever the fuck you want to call it, will they even make a Survivor Series pay-per-view as close as exciting as this one? I seriously doubt it. This pay-per-view had everything. It had action, it had blood, it had fucking everything. It was during the Ruthless Aggression era, like I already mentioned, and this was an epic time to be a WWE fan. I remember this pay-per-view so very well. I watched this live, and after watching it live I was blown away. There was a few outcomes which made me really sad, like Stone Cold Steve Austin losing to Team Bischoff, and then Austin was fired and all that business. But overall it was a fantastic pay-per-view. You know, I really wasn't expecting Vince McMahon to beat The Undertaker, you know, when I first watched it. But, like I said, I went into this pay-per-view rewatching it again so I could do this review, already knowing the outcomes, but it was just so great to relive it again. Just watching the promos and the backstage stories alone to the build-up to these matches made them so exciting. WWE doesn't do that now today. They don't make any storytelling promos or any exciting backstage stuff, you know, with the exciting music for the build-up and all that. You know, just watching, you know, the promos alone in this just made the matches exciting. You know, it was all thrown together all in one. But let's get on with it. In the first match, Team Angle defeated Team Lesnar in a classic Survivor Series tag match. Great match, everybody. The last guys at the end were John Cena and Chris Benoit. You know, Chris Benoit made Brock Lesnar tap out in this match to eliminate him. And John Cena got the victory by doing the FU to the Big Show, picking up a victory for the team. And this was during John Cena's thugonomic style, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Whatever, I fucking hated it. But this is when he was starting to become a babyface. You know, Chris Benoit respected John Cena at the end of the match by shaking his hand and all that kind of stuff. But the match itself was a very classic tag team match. Honestly, on Team Angle, you know, going up against Team Lesnar. On Team Lesnar, you had these monster of men like Matt Morgan, Nathan Jones, A-Train, The Big Show, Brock Lesnar, you know, and all these like gigantic monsters, you know, against a team of like a team of Kurt Angle, you know, in his team, you know. But it was a really great Survivor Series tag team match, you know. You'd much sooner watch these guys going at it in a classic six-man tag team match than you would in today's era. You know, I mean, come on. Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. Does that sound more exciting than things like Team Cody versus Team, I don't know, AJ Styles, for example? I mean, I know this match never existed, but can you imagine hearing that on a match card? You know, Team Cody versus another team. What would you rather see, a Team Angle or a Team Lesnar over a Team Cody, or whatever the fuck you want to call it? But there you have it. And this was a great match. Team Angle defeated Team Lesnar. Like I say, John Cena picked up the victory for the team, you know, by doing the FU to the Big Show. Second match, Molly Holly defeated Lita, and it was a women's title match. And this was a fine little women's match for the women's championship. You know, Molly Holly walked in as the champion, she walked out as the champion. You know, and it was a fine match. It was a fine match between two women. Molly Holly was like doing these facial expressions that looked weird, like she was like going, you know, making all these weird facial expressions while she was wrestling Lita. You know, this was during the time when Molly Holly was a heel, and everyone really wanted Lita to become the women's champion, but they didn't get what they wanted that night. This is taking place in Dallas, Texas, by the way. You know, so everyone really wanted Lita to defeat Molly Holly to become the women's champion, but it never happened. You know, Molly Holly got the victory over Lita by cheating, and she retained the women's championship. Final women's match. Now, talk about an exciting match and a very fun match. Kane defeated Shane McMahon in an ambulance match. Now, we've seen loads of ambulance matches. We've seen them in the PG era. We've seen them in even in today's era, but if you want to remember an ambulance match, you'll definitely remember this one. With Kane defeating Shane McMahon. This is where Kane and Shane McMahon were having their feud. And I remember this feud very well. It all started with Kane taking off the mask in 2003 and he tombstone Linda McMahon on the stage. I remember all this very well. And ever since he tombstone Lita on the stage, he had this feud with Shane McMahon. You know, he had like a last man standing match with Kane. Now he's having an ambulance match with Kane. And this was to end their feud basically, and Kane picked up the victory. But this was a great match. I mean, it was fun. I mean, it started off in the ring, going through the crowd, then into the backstage area. There was a moment where Shane got into this vehicle and he reversed Kane through a toll booth, came crashing through the glass. You know, Shane was trying to drag Kane, but he was too heavy, and they ended up wrestling towards, you know, the entrance area. You know, Shane McMahon hit the back of his head on the windshield of the ambulance, breaking it. There was moments where Shane was slamming the door into Kane's face, but it all ended with Kane giving Shane McMahon a tombstone on the concrete and then throwing him into the back of an ambulance. But there was a few false finishes where the ambulance door was kicked out, and you know, but there was a lot of hard hitting moments in this. I mean, like I say, Kane took some kendo sticks to the back. You know, a lot of hard hitting moments with trash cans, and it was a very fun ambulance match. I mean, like I said, there was no blood in it, but it was still a very hard-hitting, kick-ass ambulance match. And like I say, you won't get those type of matches in WWE today. Not with the action that they did in this match. I mean, when you hear about Shane McMahon participating in an ambulance match, you know something great's going to happen. You know, and it did just that. Both of these guys put off a really great ambulance match. And like I say, Kane won. You know, it was during Kane's unmasking, so he was getting the bigger push of like being like this evil monster. You know, and it really worked. So it was a great ambulance match, this was. For next match, we had a tag team match for the tag team titles. The Basham Brothers defeated Los Guerreros, Eddie and Chavo. And again, fine tag match. There was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing epic about this match, but it was just a nice little tag team match that was thrown in there for the tag team titles. I mean, back then in this era, they had all kinds of tag teams for the tag team division. And Los Guerreros was just one of those teams that really led the tag team division, you know, winning the tag titles. God, we had all sorts of tag teams in this division, like I say, Los Guerreros. We had the world's greatest tag team, Charlie Harsh's son, Benjamin. You know, the Basham Brothers. You know, there was all kinds of tag teams in this era, you know, and I really enjoyed the tag team division in this era, like Rey Mysterio teaming up with Billy Kidman and all that kind of thing. We had like a really great tag team division back in the Ruthless Aggression era. You know, and the belts looked really beautiful as well. So this was a fine tag team match. Now, this match got me off my seat while I was watching this live. But, oh, talk about a disappointing outcome. But, again, I can't argue. I couldn't call this match crap or anything like that just because I wanted the outcome to be different. Because this was a very exciting Survivor Series match. Team Bischoff defeated Team Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was like, oh, fuck. You know, Team Bischoff defeated Team Austin, and the stipulation was if Austin's team lost, then Stone Cold would be fired. But then if Austin's team won, then the rule about him not being able to touch any superstars or kick their asses would be lifted. And of course, Eric Bischoff's team cheated to get a victory. And what made this was so great was the effort of Shawn Michaels. You know, Shawn Michaels was on Stone Cold's team. He was bloody, you know, and there was lots of times where he was kicking out of all these finishers. And we was all like saying, come on, Shawn, just like JR was saying. You know, he managed to do Sweet Chin Music to Christian, pin him. He did a roll-up pin on Chris Jericho, but then Chris Jericho hit him with a chair. You know, and it was like Shawn Michaels was doing all the work all by himself, because many of Austin's team members got eliminated early in this match. It was like Shawn Michaels was doing all the work, and then it came to him and Randy Orton at the end. Eric Bischoff intervened. It was funny when Austin came and gave the stunner to Randy Orton, and while he was beating up Eric Bischoff, Batista interfered, gave the Batista bomb to Shawn Michaels, and then Randy Orton covered him, and that's when the match was over. And it was like, ah, shit, Austin lost. You know what I mean? I remember watching it live because everyone knows how much I love Stone Cold. Got the tattoo right here of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's my hero, he's my mentor, you know. Fucking love the guy. And when I watched this live and he got fired for being the GM, I was like, ah, fuck, you know. And it was like I said, this was a great time to be a wrestling fan. It was exciting. It got you off your chair. It got you into it. It got you really excited. You know, and when you got a favourite like Stone Cold Steve Austin being fired, you're like, ah, fuck. You know what I mean? So this was an exciting time to be a WWE fan. It really was. Can WWE really get you off your seat today? I mean, if you're not excluding WrestleMania 40, of course, the main events, but again, they have to get some of the old stars involved, don't they, to try and hype it up a bit. Because for some reason today's stars can't fucking do that. You know what I mean? They have to get Undertaker involved to choke slam The Rock, you know, and all that kind of thing, just to make it even more better than it already is. So, just my opinion. And the next match, Mr. McMahon defeated The Undertaker in a buried alive match. And this was very gory. But what I loved about this match was the promos that Undertaker did leading up to this match, where he was in the graveyard talking about Vince McMahon, talking about how Vince McMahon was threatening to have Undertaker's wife raped and his kids kidnapped. Very edgy storytelling, very dark moments. And, you know, Undertaker's there with the shovel of dirt saying, I'm going to shovel this dirt, Vince, until I've covered your body. And then I'm going to leave your head and all that business. And it was a very dark, eerie, edgy promo, and it was fucking fantastic. And just watching this match, Undertaker was all over Vince McMahon. That was the fact. I can't even remember Vince McMahon throwing one punch. I do remember him delivering a low blow to Undertaker where they're near the graveside, but most of the time it was Undertaker beating Vince McMahon. You know, he took a shovel shot to the head. You know, he had his grapefruit smashed, you know what I mean? And he had his ankle shattered with the fucking steel steps. Vince McMahon was all bloody and gory, and it was fucking cool. But then we got interference from Kane. You know, he threw Undertaker in the grave, and Vince McMahon released all the soil, and it covered the Undertaker, totally burying him alive. And again, I really wasn't expecting that. You know, when I first watched it, I thought Undertaker was going to bury Vince McMahon. Of course, I know the outcome is when I watched it over again, but it was nice to relive it. But again, I was not expecting that little twist where Kane was going to get involved and help Vince McMahon win, you know. And I just remember on SmackDown he made a special appearance, Kane did, and talked about, you know, how him and his brothers were monsters, but he became weak, you know, losing to Brock Lesnar, and that Undertaker was no longer a monster and all that kind of thing. And that was to lead to their build-up match for WrestleMania 20 about Kane and the Undertaker, basically. But it was nicely done, it was nicely built up, and it was a great entertaining match. And in the main event, Goldberg defeated Triple H to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And again, it was a great main event. There was nothing wrong with Goldberg's wrestling back then, you know what I mean? It was great to see him as part of a main eventer, you know, because Goldberg, as we all remember, made his debut in 2003 and beating The Rock and all that kind of thing. But he was the World Heavyweight Champion, and this was during his feud with Triple H over the World Heavyweight Championship. And again, this was a fine main event. I mean, it wasn't the match of the night. I'd have to say the match of the night had to be the Team Bischoff versus Team Austin match, in my opinion. That's just what I generally think. But this was a good main event. I enjoyed every match on this card. You know, I enjoyed every match. Do I have a least favourite? I suppose it would have to be, I don't know, Basham Brothers and Los Guerreros. But like I say, if I was forced to pick a dislike favourite, it'd be that. But I like that match. You know what I mean? So it's really hard for me to pick a match on this card that I didn't like, because I liked every single match on this card. It was purely epic. So ruthless aggression style, so edgy, so well built up. Every star had a blast act this night, had a lot of fun trying to pull off a great entertainment show for the fans. It was truly epic. I mean, this is one that I really do highly recommend for any wrestling fan if you're a fan of the ruthless aggression era. And I want to thank that guy for requesting this, because when I looked in the comment section, I saw his name and he requested Survivor Series 2003. Straight away, my fucking brain clicked. And I went, I remember that pay-per-view. Yes, I'm going to watch that again, and yes, I'm going to fucking review it. And again, I like to feel that way for any pay-per-view that I want to review, you know, that you guys send in. So, if you've got a pay-per-view that you want me to review, leave them in the comment section below and make sure they get plenty of thumbs up. The more thumbs up it gets, the more chances it will get reviewed, you know. So, WWE Survivor Series 2003 from the Ruthless Aggression era. Great. There's no reason whatsoever not to give this pay-per-view a 10 out of 10. Really epic. Great Survivor Series. We won't get them like this anymore, sadly. But anyway, that's it, everybody. Thanks, and you know what to do. Leave them in the comment section below. Peace out, everyone. This was when WWE was epic, you know. We can only pray, touch wood, that this new era will bring it to greater heights. But these days will not come back. Peace out, everyone. Have a nice day.